Hi, beautiful artists. So today I am playing, really excited. I just got the little palette from MAB Watercolors, and this one, wait till you see, you guys, Princess Series. Look at how beautiful those are. So let's just play with those today. What I'm going to do is, this might be fun for you too. Sometimes in the evening when I can't think of anything to paint, I will do things like this because it's great practice for brush strokes. When I get new colors I want to try out, I can play with them on paper. And I think it's just fun, easy, relaxing for the evenings. So I'm going to be using, as always, my Artisto pads. As you know, student grade, love them, 140 pound, great texture. For Christmas, I actually tore several of them out of some of my books to give as gifts. And, you know, I'm going to be starting my January journal pack, but this is still December, so I label these and refer back to them. I've also got my little palette here. I've got my wash and my rinse water, and I have sprayed my little metallic, so I'm all ready. So like I said, I'm pretty excited about this series, the Princess series. I think they're really, really pretty. Let me just show you. I did put them on a swatch here, and just look at how beautiful. I'm thinking of all kinds of things I want to paint. Maybe some beautiful goldfish with long fins, maybe a mermaid. I just think these are going to be really fun. So right now I just want to play a little bit with them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do some little rainbow type shapes. And like I said, this is really fun just if you want to paint at night, but you don't really know what you want to paint. These are the type of things I do. And by the way, I'm using my Degato today, just because really it's what was sitting here. These are those student grade brushes I love. Been using them for several months, and the tip on them still great. You get a whole pack of these for maybe $11, $12 if you're not quite ready to take the jump into your Princeton series. So let's just paint some rainbows here. So I'm going to rest my hand on my paper here using the tip, and then I'm going to spread out the belly of my brush. Tip and then spread and bringing it around. So things like this are really good to, number one, relax. And for me, I love doing these things just to kind of play with my brushes. So here's the next color. These two are kind of similar. This second one is a little bit more purpley. And then let me just wash and rinse my brush, and let's go into maybe this green. It's a very light green. I'm really excited, you guys, to do some more with these paints. I think a little mermaid fin would be gorgeous with these. If you could, I hope you can see this in the camera. Just beautiful colors, very pastel. I'm thinking a lot of little flowers we could make out of these. So here's the purple. Just making, it's kind of a purpley blue. And I'm going to try and vary the size of my rainbows as well. You could do circles, bubbles, really anything you want. Just kind of play. And this is almost like a yellow or a gold. Ooh, look at that. Now, one thing I'll tell you with metallics, what I've noticed, they don't necessarily flow into each other. They kind of stay where you put them. Just something I've noted. Let's go into this silvery color, which kind of reminds me of the ones we were using during the holidays. That's very pretty. It's very subtle and light, but look at that shimmer. Really pretty. And then let's see, let's add a little bit of maybe pink in there. There we go. So these are things, again, that I'll just put on some music at night and I'll just play with these. Maybe do some in different directions. I'm going to go in for that green color again and do a little bit bigger one. These paints, you know, I've used a lot of metallics and I really do love her metallics. I think they're very easy to work with. They're very creamy and flow quite nicely. They also look awesome over other colors. Just really being playful here. There we go. And you could do a whole sheet of these. Just playing with the different colors. Get some others. And again, an opportunity to really play with brush strokes. So let's do a little circle and see if we can get this to maybe blend in together. I haven't really done this, so we're going to play right here. Let's just make a circle. This is also a good practice in wet and wet, which I'm always encouraging for you, because you'll get a feel for how the paints, you know, how much water and so forth. So let's go into that and see if we get a little bit of blending. A little bit. Like I said, I think, you know, the metallics tend to kind of stay where they're put down originally. They don't quite blend as well as maybe your regular watercolors. But you can use them very much. Let's take a bright pink here. As you know, my Quin Magenta. Let's just take that and put that down. And then we'll go over that with this Princess series and see what we get. There we go. Okay. We'll let that dry a little. Let's go in with some orange under that. This is also a great practice for seeing how to make those thin and thick strokes. And then maybe a blue or a green would be pretty here. Now see, we're getting some blending because I'm using watercolors now. So we're getting that blend. And then once that dries, I'm going to go over it with these paints and see what we get. Let me choose another color here. Let's go in with maybe a light blue. Going in with the belly of your brush so you don't damage that little tip. There we go. And then once that dries, I'll go over it with some of these metallics. Let's do a little circle here. Let me grab some of that beautiful pink paint. I'm getting ready, by the way, to refill my MeiLang palette. I've got the MeiLang tubes, so I'm kind of excited about that. And we'll just draw a circle here. Again, take these opportunities in the evening, put on some music, and just play with some of your paints and see what you get. Let's add a yellow, cad yellow into that one. And see what we get with that. That's supposed to be cad yellow, but I think I had some of that pink on my brush, so it turned an orange, but look how pretty that is. Okay, this is somewhat dry. Let's go over that with some of these metallics. And can you see those beautiful light, really subtle, soft colors of this metallic palette? Let's see, what color should we go over? Let's try this, the pink one. I always love the names of her paints too. She does some really fun names. She's got a galaxy series that has like nebula and neutron. So that definitely, these work really well over watercolors. Look at that. And very transparent, so it's showing, allowing the paint to show through. Let's use that green, which I like because sometimes I've used some metallics in there a little bit more opaque, but these are very transparent. So I appreciate that. I think she did a good job with that. There we go. So that is over some watercolor. Let's just play with a leaf here. Let's see, let me get a lighter green. And we're going to point, press, point. I'm going to make that a little bit darker. Point, press, point, press. There we go. Okay. And let's see if we can add in what it does if we add in some of this metallic. Oh yeah, that's really pretty. Not sure if you can see that. Yeah, I like that. So I'm noticing if I move it around a little, it blends just fine. So that's good. And then let's maybe put some over our little dots that we combine together. See what we get there. Yeah, that's pretty. So again, if you were doing some flowers, you could definitely go over them with these metallics, and I think it would be really, really pretty. Let's see, what else? Let's do maybe a small flower. Point, press, kind of like our leaf. There we go. Let me get a little bit more of that paint. That beautiful pink. Point, press, point, press. There we go. Spread it around. Turn my paper here, point, press, point, press. Now that's interesting. I went over the metallics with my watercolors and look at the difference there. So that worked as well. I hadn't tried that before. Do the side of the leaf, point, press, and back up. That's how I would typically create the side of a petal. Point, press. There we go. Adding in those layers. Yeah, very pretty. So I hope this gives you some ideas just in the evening to play with some color mixing and you know, come up with maybe color charts. Now that's, again, what I'm noticing, another thing I'm noticing here is the areas I did do the metallics, you definitely could go over with your watercolors and it shows through. Just almost the same as if you had put the watercolors down first and then went over it with the metallic. So look how pretty that is. There you go. All right, everybody. Well, that was just a little fun evening exercise I was playing with, and I'm going to be doing more with these, but I really wanted to show you this Princess series. I think it's beautiful, and it's going to make some really pretty flowers, and it's got a great shimmer to it. The coloring, I will tell you, in these is very subtle. If you look at it almost straight on, you see mostly the silver. But if you turn your page, boy, those colors really pop. So that's kind of cool. It's very interesting. All right, everybody. Well, I hope that was fun for you. And remember to practice your brush strokes and have fun.